All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Coach Cruise for those of you that are new. But we're going to be talking about the celebration today. Our guest today is Mike from the Nauti Cruiser. And while bef- I'm going to go ahead and just let him introduce himself and his channel. He gave me the pleasure of having me on his podcast along with Josh from Moonlight Adventures a few weeks back. And he's all about cruising too. We were just talking about all the cruises we had planned in the upcoming years and things like that, how far we're booked in advance, those types of things. And I'll try to fend Zoe off from eating all the treats off the plate while Naughty introduces himself. And then we'll say hello to everybody and get talking about the celebration right after that.
Yeah, right. Like, who doesn't want to talk about cruising, right? What's going on, everybody? I'm Mike. They know me as the Nauti Cruiser travel vlogs over here in YouTube world. I'm 34 years old. I've been on over 40 cruises. That's all my channel's about. We're showing people how to do things frugal friendly, how to travel on a budget, how to get as much travel in as possible throughout the year, and the best places to go, things to see. Places to see and things to do. That's all it's about, right? Like, the best time is when you're on a ship, is my honest opinion. There's only a couple other times throughout the year that I feel that things are a little bit better than that. Like right now, it's postseason, Game 7. My Phillies are in, so I feel like that's a great thing. But no, that's all it is. All cruising, all things cruising, and from a fluffier traveler standpoint. So if you're into travel, all around the world travel, like I don't even just do Caribbean. I go all over the place with these cruises. Check it out.
I had my mic off there. Absolutely, yeah, and not only that, but I wanted to mention that Mike was on the Vloggers Cruise. Many of you probably heard about that because I know we have a lot of people here, and then also I was very impressed by Mike and Josh from Moonlight Adventures. I was listening, I was tuned into their podcast last week, and all of a sudden I'm like, holy crap, is that Tony, from Lolita Loca? Like, he is,
yeah, that's the Godfather, right? That's the goat.
Cruise vloggers and things like that. If there were a king of, vloggers and cruise content, Tony.
He definitely wear that crown. That's for sure. He definitely wear that crown. Yeah, we had Tony on. He was great, man. He's a good friend, great friend. Love him and Jenny very dearly, and he did us a solid and came on. Spent 2 hours with us too, man. So I'm like, 2 hours. I really wasn't expecting 2 hours, but it was nice to be able to just sit down and have a conversation. And that's the big thing with the podcast, right? Is like, we want people to get interested in the other side of the vlogger that you don't really see a lot. What you see on the camera, what you hear on the camera really isn't that person, like what their hobbies are outside of cruising and things like sports teams and stuff like that. So it's nice to sit down and have that conversation, right? And just get to know that creator or that person just a little bit more. So that's the whole big thing with the podcast. And so far it's taken off. It's doing a lot better than I ever could have imagined.
And that podcast the next guest called Peer-to-Peer.
It's called Peer-to-Peer. So it's a play on words, P-I-E-R, the number 2, P-I-E-R. You can find it on Spotify. And it's just all things travel talk, and you get to know a little bit more about the person behind the camera, that person that's bringing that content to you. So peer-to-peer travel chats. It's with me, the Nauti Cruiser, and Josh from the Moonlight Adventures.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I feel even more special now because I was on just a couple weeks before Tony, so I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, so it's great to be that guy that was on before, right? Like, now I feel bad for everybody coming on after.
Yeah, exactly. I was the warm-up act, but hey, I'd be happily be a warm-up act for that. All right, let me say hi to everybody. Rick was first today. He was standing by very early on. I got Zoe here again trying to eat this plate of treats. I'm going to scoot a little further away from her because she's just clawing up my arm here. Let's see. Seg was second. Yoli was third here. Ken is here today. Jimbo is here. Usnavi is here. Michelle Hebert. Let's see. Sean is here. Cruise Life TV. Good to see you all again. Eric from North Shore Travelers, and they are cruising or about to be cruising. He was sending me some tasty food picks that was making me salivate because I hadn't eaten at the time.
Oh, man.
Let's see here. Bruce from Ocean to Ocean Travel, who is usually on right after me. We got Tim, who's our admin on the Coach Cruise Facebook page. Will G is here. Nick Norell is here once again. Great to see you. And Will and Tim. Let's see. Robert. Robert is here from Texas. And Robert, I got a question. Are you an Astros or a Rangers fan? That's an important question in Texas nowadays after last night. Bless Nettie, good to see you again. Cheryl is here once again. Lalila Bazaar, really good to see you. And she just got back from the Panorama this past Saturday. Now she's online trying to book another cruise. Awesome.
That's the way to do it, right? Get off one, book another one.
For the hello and cruise family. Absolutely. We got the Down Under Cruisers. Good day, folks. And that means something to me because I'm going to Australia this summer. I was just talking with Mike about that off air. We're doing a Journeys cruise. So super looking forward to that. Robert is an Astros fan, but I'll tell you what, as I was telling some other Astro friends of mine, you know what? You guys have been the envy of Major League Baseball for the last several years. I mean, you guys have won a lot of games, World Series, everything. So can't feel too bad about losing in the championship series. Rick is drinking tequila tonight since his Astros lost. Always a reason to drink tequila, right? And you'd probably been drinking tequila if your Astros won too. So
listen, I'm drinking water right now, but if my Phillies lose, who knows what I'm going to finish the night with.
And then we have Jared, and I think we're all caught up. But let me get Frankie Floyd up here on the board because he was the first super chat. We are with Frankie Floyd's super chat. We're already up to 43. Remember, when we hit 100, we give a shirt drawing giveaway, a Coach Cruise t-shirt, your choice of color and size. North Shore Travelers is numbers 1 through 8. Rick Wade is 9 through 18. Trisha is 19 through 28. Ben is numbers 29 through 38. And as I just mentioned, they were from last week. And Frankie Floyd, the first this week, 39 through 43. And I wanted to thank everybody once again before I forget. We weren't doing these super chats. Oh, I see Tim on here too. Let me get you down, Tim. We weren't doing as much of the super chats last week just because I was asking you all to do a GoFundMe for my girls flag football team. We were trying to raise money to take them out to a really nice dinner. Mission accomplished. We're going to Fogo de Chao, which is an all-you-can-eat steak, Brazilian steakhouse restaurant. It's really good here in the Chicago area. It's a chain. They're around the United States, but I don't know if they're in your particular state. Not only that, but we had a secondary goal of raising enough money to buy them, like a team warm-up, pants like sweatpants and like a jacket or a hoodie or something. So mission accomplished because of donations from everybody like yourself, and then plus all the people from the GoFundMe page. The girls are getting a sweatpants, hoodie stitched with their names and numbers in it. We're going out to the steakhouse this Sunday. So again, thank you for all of you that were a part of that, and much appreciated. And then we just had Tim G, who did a $10 super chat. And when you do a $10 super chat, you get this dog right here, little Zoe. High five for Tim and Cheryl. You get her to leave me alone for a few minutes, so I much appreciate that, Tim. And let's see. I think we're pretty much all caught up here. And there's that.
I like Rob's comment. I like Texas too. ... Now pulling for Philly. We all know, right? Ranger Suarez is on the mound tonight, so let's hope, man. Let's hope.
Yeah.
It's do or die. It's game 7. Like, there's no, hey, we can try again tomorrow. That's it. It's game 7, man.
I mean, I have nothing against the Diamondbacks. I'm not, a Phillies fan, but I'm not against the Phillies or whatever. But I will say, like, as an objective fan, to me, it sounds like Texas and Phillies would be the more watched, the more coveted.
Oh, for sure.
World Series. Like, people would want to see that more. I think, nothing against the Diamondbacks. I apologize to any Diamondback fans out there. But if I had to pick what series I would prefer to watch most, it would be the Phillies and the Texas Rangers.
Let's go. Look, man, I'm Phillied out, bro. Like it's tough, right? Because I live down here in Florida, so a lot of people from up north transplant down to Florida. I'm one of them. I was born and raised in a town in Philly called Kensington, Philadelphia, and we bleed green during the NFL season. We bleed red during baseball. We bleed orange for our Flyers. It's tough because people are like, "Well, you live in Florida." Listen, I'm gonna let you in a little secret. I have season tickets to the Bucks, but I only went to one game this year, and it was when they played the Eagles. That was it.
Okay.
So,
all right, very cool.
Philly,
well, yeah, you got to get this one. And the good thing is you're going to see most of the game even after this show.
Oh, for sure.
So the innings that matter the most, at least, right? So Roberta is a Phillies fan too. I see. We got Lito Tito's driving, but he is listening. So glad to have you on again, Lito Tito. Moonlight Adventures, we were just talking about you. I don't know if you just came on, but yeah, we were talking about the peer-to-peer podcast. And we got the Z Show here also. All right, so we talked about the Super Chats. One thing I forgot about the Super Chats, we talked about the $10 Super Chat. That gets a treat for Zoe. If you do a $15 Super Chat, I got a double. That's my first shot. I pour into my Yeti cup and pour some Coke in there and then mix that up. And then after that, we go to the Buffalo Trace for any other $15 Super Chat. But any Super Chat, whether it's $1, that still goes into the drawing to win the free shirt. So let's get down to business. We're going to talk about the Carnival Celebration today. And Mike has a bunch of really awesome cruises. And he's been on some very awesome cruises. One cruise has a lot to do with the Carnival Celebration, and that is because he was on the Transatlantic, the inaugural cruise on the Carnival Celebration. So tell us, about that cruise itself, and then just the general thoughts on the celebration before we dig a little bit.
That was an epic cruise. Like that was my first real big cruise. Now I've done smaller cruises through like the Panama Canal or things like that, but that was like my first really big epic cruise. That was the first time I flew over to the UK. I spent some time in London and then Southampton before getting on, but just being able to be part of that, like not necessarily naming ceremony because they did that when they got over here to Miami, but the ribbon cutting ceremony with John Heald and Christine Duffy and being able to see that stuff, being one of the first paying passengers to get on that ship. Lee was the cruise director right out of the gate. So I got to, have 14 great days at sea with Lee. And it was awesome just to be on that ship, seeing new ports, new places. Lee raised the most money ever by a Carnival cruise director with the group for St. Jude on that cruise. So it was pretty cool to be able to be there and experience that. Getting to meet his mom, just all those different things, man. But the ship's my favorite thing, right? Like I absolutely love a beautiful ship, and the celebration is absolutely that. Now I know some people are like, "Oh, it's cookie cutter," but it's really not. You got to get on it to like experience it. If you look at it from the outside, it may not look appealing to the eyeball, but inside is where it's all at. Good night, buddy.
I gotta quit muting myself if I'm going to forget to turn the microphone back on. Note to self. We got CME Traveling that just joined us. Fireball Steve joined us. Lourdes has joined us. I echo those sentiments, and I just released a video today on the Carnival Celebration. It was 10 things that people love about the Carnival Celebration. So I'm going to start talking about some of those topics that I went over and kind of get your opinion, and anybody else that wants to jump in, or has a comment on the celebration. If you've been on it, if you want to be on it, if you have a question for either Mike or myself, because we've both been on it at least 2 weeks each. So first one is, and you always hear about every cruise ship because every cruise ship wants to do something different and unique that sets themselves apart from the other cruise line. And for the XL class, I think without a doubt, that is the Bolt roller coaster. I mean, we heard about the go-karts at sea, the skating rinks at sea, all those type of things. And I think Carnival tried to make their statement by having a roller coaster at sea. So first question, did you go on the roller coaster? And what do you think about, you know, the roller coaster in general on the XL class.
I have not done the roller coaster yet. That doesn't mean I won't. I just haven't done it yet. And I like the idea of the roller coaster, right? So if like there's a few things I don't like about it. So if you're a single rider, you can go on it, but you still have to be under that 300 weight limit, right? If you're a double rider, you have to be at 600-pound weight limit. So I think Carnival needs to like switch it around a little bit to where if you're a single rider, there are bigger cruisers out there than myself or somebody else. So the weight limit, I think, for solo riders needs to be increased a little bit because they're missing out on that. However, I understand the safety behind everything. Now, the one thing that gets me is the price.
Yeah.
The price is insane. I get it. You go around twice, but $20 to go around twice, $15 to go around twice. I think they should include some type of package. Like, hey, if you buy the Cheers package, you get to ride Bolt 2 times throughout your cruise or something like that, right? So like incorporate some type of package to where, you know, even if you buy like $50 in the arcade, you get to ride Bolt for free. You're giving people more incentives to do other things on board than just Bolt. It's great. It's a fast roller coaster, 40 plus miles an hour above the water. But you get some people that want to be frugal friendly and they're like, do I really want to spend $20 to go around on a roller coaster for 5 minutes of my time?
Yeah. Right. And did they? And I know it when I went on it was 15, so they upped it to 20 now.
So when you sail out of certain ports, right? So when we went out of the UK, it was $20.
Oh, really? Okay.
It wasn't until we got majority of the sea days out of the way that it dropped to the 15.
Okay.
So depending on where you're sailing out of depends on the price, right? So even if it's $15, the max you're getting is 5 minutes of fun for $15. It's not bad. But if you want to do it multiple times, say you do it twice, now you're up to $30. Say you and your wife want to do it, you're at $30 right out of the gate for right. 2 people. If you just want to do it twice, now you're up to $60. So I don't knock it. I highly recommend it. If you're an adrenaline junkie, take the risk. You got to risk it for the biscuit, right? So like ride it out. Yeah. But just keep in mind that it will get expensive if you want to do it more than once.
Right. And for me, it was more the novelty of it than anything. I mean, I wanted to say that I did it. So my wife and I, we booked it. And, you know, as many people have said on here, they enjoyed it. It was fun. Yoli mentioned this a little while ago, the boat was fun, but short. And it is very short. And I think when they first started, they were only letting people go around once. And they realized like, wow, this is like a 5-second ride or something. And it's already over. But yeah, the second lap is very important, but it does go very quick. So, I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, that first takeoff, you know, you kind of, it goes up and you know, I mean, roller coasters are meant to.
And all you see is the water.
Give you a thrill. Yeah. It almost looks like you're just going to keep going up and fly out into the water or something. So that first, and obviously the second time around, you know, that's not going to happen. So right. It's not quite as scary, but yeah, it is. You do get off it with it goes fast enough and it's enough of adrenaline bump that you definitely, at least I did, walked off with a smile on my face.
Yeah, you walk off with a smile. Your brain releases that dopamine and you're in that zone, right? Like that's the whole thing with it, is that adrenaline rush. But me, I'm like, all right, well, $15 for 5 minutes of my time. Well, I can go and I can pay $20 for a cab and I can go cliff diving for like an hour. And that's like real, like raw adrenaline at that point.
A lot of comments here about the Bolt, and Cruise Life TV just offered a good tip. They said to book it early and book it twice for a backup in case the first one's canceled. And they do cancel the roller coaster a lot because of weather and certain conditions and things like that. So yeah, that's an excellent tip. And then, you know, if you go on the first time and you're satisfied, well, then you could cancel the second one after you have it booked and get a refund on your purchase. So yeah, really good tip there, Cruise Life TV. Thank you for that. And yeah, so let's go on. And I have not done this, and I don't know if you have, but I know you've seen it and you know of it, but the ropes course up there. I think the thing I really like about that ropes course is I've actually done the ropes course on like the Vista or something, Wasn't impressed. Wasn't scary or anything like that. Obviously, they're gonna, they're gonna build the safety in, so you don't feel like you're gonna
Right.
fall and die or anything like that. But that's not the reason that it wasn't, I guess, satisfying or whatever. The thing I like about what the XL class has done is that one part of the ropes course where there's nothing to walk on. You're just hanging by the rope, and
you're
you're
zipping across.
suspended. You have to go from one ramp to the other, and it's probably 30 feet or more in between the two. So you kind of have to glide 18 stories high,
right,
suspended from a rope, and obviously you have a harness on and everything. And if it wasn't uber safe, they wouldn't have you doing it. But I'm sure it's a thrill to kind of be hanging and suspended over there. So I intend to do it if I meet the weight limit, because I'm sure there's a weight limit on that one too. I did qualify for the Bolt roller coaster, but it wasn't by a whole lot. So we'll see. But I'm going Thanksgiving. So but I mean, what are your
just make sure you do it before you start indulging in all the food on the ship, right? Because at that point, you'll hit the limit.
Yeah.
I haven't done the ropes course on the Celebration. I've done it on other ships. I do feel that the ropes course on the Celebration is better than certain ships, because it has the things like that gap where you got to go from plank to plank, or the extra large extended, like walk the plank to the edge of the ship and you're hanging over the edge of the ship.
Right.
My whole thing is like, all right, well, I'm gonna get to the edge, and I'm a big adrenaline junkie. I live a mantra of fearless. Like, I want to do the things that the average person would second guess. I'm not second guessing it, right? I'm going to go in hardcore out of the gate. So I'd want to hang off the edge with my arms out. But in the brain, it's telling you like, all right, bro, you need to come back a little bit. You're at the edge of the ship here.
Yeah.
But I enjoy watching other people do certain things, right? So like riding the Bolt, I sat on the back of the Celebration. I just watched it go around for a good half hour, 40 minutes. Just watching different reactions from takeoff, mid screams, takeoff screams, end screams. It's pretty cool to just sit around and people watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And Eric from North Shore Travelers, thank you once again. There's always one of you out there that are helping me out, because that I'm going to forget to ask. But he says, don't forget to hit the like button. I always forget that. So yeah, if you could hit that like button, let's help populate this. We still got about 40 minutes to go here, so maybe we can get this out to more viewers. We're over 30 now, so let's try to get it to 40 or more. And Yoli says 68 days until we're on the Celebration. So that means 68 days until I'm on the Celebration, except I'm going on the Celebration even before then. So it's only like 25 or 26 days for me, and then 68 days. So yeah, we're on the Celebration at the same time for the New Year's Eve cruise. Let's see what else. Rick says Allure left Galveston. And Rick, by the way, Kindle Fire, the inaugural cruise director of the Jubilee, and Mike's going to be on that for his New Year's Eve, is a follower of Rick Wade's articles. So I saw him post that earlier. That is pretty cool, Rick. Congratulations on that. And Harmony will be here next week, he says. See me traveling, fight or flight. Yep.
That's it. There's two modes, fight, flight. That's it.
Yeah. Frankie Floyd says 46 days and back on the Mardi Gras. And I loved the Mardi Gras. I loved some of the shows on the Mardi Gras. So yeah, that is a great ship. And yeah, so let's move right along here, and let's get to one of the things I thought was really good, and it still doesn't seem to be enough, but I felt like they were moving in the right direction at least, and that is the number of pools on the Celebration. What did you think?
They're definitely moving in the right direction, right? So there's more aquatic space for the guest on the XL class ships, way more than any of the other ships, right? Like if you're talking Spirit class, Vista class, there's way more water for you to get in on the Celebration, the Jubilee, or the Mardi Gras. I don't believe they are moving in the direction in the sense to where there's not enough adults only pools. I believe there should be more water, like pools for adults only. You figure the kids, Carnival's the fun ship, right? So you got a lot of kids on Carnival. But if you're trying to compete with your other lines like Royal or Virgin to create that more adult atmosphere, I think would be a better direction for them. So a bigger pool in the Serenity or things like that, I think would, definitely bring a lot more bookings to the Carnival Corporation itself, right? So you look at like other ships within Carnival, like Princess. Majority of Princess's ships, except for the one main area of kids, are adults only. Now, kids can go in those other pools, but they don't because they provide kids with a pool just for kids.
Right. No, that's a great point about the Serenity. Now, I mean, to be half glasses half full guy, I would say like, well, most Serenity areas don't even have a pool. So from that perspective, you could say, hey, well, at least they put a pool up on the the XL class. But I agree with you 100%, because I don't know whether it's an engineering thing. I'm thinking it's not. But they have that seating area that is basically an extension of the pool. It's even dug down, so it is like like you could fill it in. Like if you filled that in or whatever and took the seats out or whatever, you could probably make that pool about twice the length. And the truth of the matter is, for those of you that haven't been on the Celebration, that pool is packed. I mean, if it is not a port day or if it's not dinner time or something like that, that pool is packed because it's not a very big pool, and everybody wants to go there that's an adult, so they don't have to be around the kids necessarily and things like that. Now, jumping around to some of the other pools, for those people that do have kids, there's a bigger selection, and you could probably find a pool that maybe isn't as crowded as like the main pool, for example. Now if you go down to deck 16, and let's start in the back, we have the Tides pool, which is a nice size, infinity pool, and they have a couple hot tubs by it. And then obviously you have your main pool, which is a nice big long pool with a nice big hot tub. And then if you go down to deck 8, you have Summer Landing, and some people like to go there because they think if they escape the Lido deck that there might be, a less crowded pool and things like that. And that is true in some cases. And there's, plenty of bars around any pool you go to if you need a drink or anything like that. And then there's also a couple pools that are often forgot about. You have to pay extra to get into them. That is the Havana pool area, which is a very small pool. And then also the Loft 19 pool. And while we're on the topic, or while I just thought of it, the Havana area, I think they failed in the XL class.
Yeah, it's a lot, especially in that pool area, right? So like my big thing is the Havana Club. That is an open venue for a lot of people. That's where they do a lot of karaoke. That's where they do a lot of things. You're really not giving me, as a person who books a Havana room or a Havana suite, whatever they want to call it, anything other than that little pool and that little bar outside. Well, you have 30 plus cabins in that Havana area. If you're double occupancy, you're talking 60 people in a pool that maybe holds 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really not there. And with having that Havana Club open for everybody else, it's nice. It's another added venue. But now you're taking away from the guests who booked the Havana suites primarily for those things. So with me being a TA, I try and tell other people like, all right, well, if you want Havana, let me suggest Cloud9, because you're getting with a Cloud9 room, you're getting spa access, right? So you're able to enter those thermal spa pools in the spa. The only people that can get in there are people who have a spa room or book the thermal spa suites. And frankly, there's not many people that are spending $150 to $180 a sailing just to be able to use the thermal spa pools.
Right. Yeah. And actually, that's another area that I feel like they didn't succeed at, because there's honestly older ships and smaller ships that have an awesome spa with an awesome thermal suites, and you have the ocean views and everything else like that. This is at the bottom of the ship. You don't have the views, that all the other Cloud9 spas and everything have. And just backing up to the Havana area, the Vista class knocked it out of the park with the Havana area. I don't talk to anybody that stayed in the Havana area that didn't, love it for the most part. They talk it up. And I mean, you have a semi-private pool, semi-private hot tubs. You have your own bar. It's a pretty spacious area. I did travel with some people, and they complained that they shouldn't have to worry about finding, chairs, which I agree with that part. That hasn't ever been a problem with me because I'm not one to lay out in the sun. Right. So I guess I didn't notice it as much. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, people on the Vista class ships love the Havana area. And people in the XL class are like, look, you're giving us a rinky dink little pool. And we still have the outside bar, but we don't have hot tubs. It's not the same gathering area and the same, I guess, class to where you meet a bunch of people.
You don't feel like you have your own special area. That's like there's no own dedicated area, right? So like you get this little bar, you get this little pool, but other than that, if I want to feel like I have my own area, I got to go somewhere else and find that. I don't have that here. So they definitely blew it with the Havana, in my opinion anyway. I think the Havana class is a waste on the XL class ships. Now, maybe they listened to other people in the last few years and they changed some things around on the Jubilee. Who knows? But we won't know until we get on there and figure it out.
Right. Absolutely. Rick, I want to thank real quick. Let me just go through the numbers real quick for the people that have done super chats today. Frankie Floyd was first. Your numbers 39 through 43. Tim G, 44 through 53. And now Rick, 54 through 58. And he says his next column, and again, he's a writer in the Galveston Daily, and somebody was asking for a link there, Rick. So if you have a link to your columns, if you want to throw it up in the comments, by all means, feel free. And it will be about the Voyager of the Seas, and she was such a trendsetter. Okay, so that is Rick's next article, if anybody's interested in checking that out. That's all things cruising. And Cruise Life TV mentioned that speaking about getting wet, we love that they have 3 water slides to choose from. I like the water slide, that's the orange one, where the floor drops out. Yeah, and you just kind of fall straight down like a story or so before it curves off, and it's fast, but it's pretty cool. I kind of dig that.
Yeah, you hit it at the wrong angle, you're going to pick the wedgie out your teeth, man.
Yeah, Lewis is in agreement that they absolutely failed the Havana area on the XL class ships, so I think everybody's in agreement on that. But Fireball Steve, and I know because I was on one of these cruises the same time Fireball was, and we all loved the Havana area on the Horizon. We all thought that was awesome. And Usnavi chimed in, who was also on that same cruise.
The Horizon's a great ship, regardless. Like I love the way they did the Horizon. It's absolutely one of the best ships. I love that I can go and get Pizza del Capitone on the back outside deck. I love that I can get noodles or cross over the hallway and get pasta. They laid that ship out perfect.
Yep, absolutely. All right, well, let's move along here. This one's not as big a deal, I don't think, but it is an addition. The next thing I talked about, I mean, one thing that kept pretty much the same is the layout around the pool, at least in terms of what you had to eat. So up on deck 17, just above the main pool, you have Guy's Burger. And then right next to the main pool, you have Blue Iguana Cantina. Those are 2 staples on most Carnival ships that are right by the main pool. So that pretty much held to form. But the addition that they made were the street eats. Did you partake in the street eats at all? And did you find that was a cool addition?
I first had street eats on the Mardi Gras. So they first implemented that on the Mardi Gras. So you're talking street eats, which is time fries and all that stuff. Hands down, one of the best places you can go for like a midday snack. You can get different fries every day. You can get different Asian dishes every day. Absolutely love street eats. Now, the only thing I don't like about street eats is the time they close. They close super early. So their window for like opportunity is very short. You're talking like maybe a 4-hour window. So if you ate breakfast, you're not going to want to go early. And if you're eating an early dinner, you're not going to want to go late. So you kind of have to like indulge and get sick, or you have to pick a meal that you're going to skip, right? So on days where I want street eats, I'll just skip breakfast and I'll do street eats for lunch. But it's one of my absolute favorites is time fries because I'm a big potato guy. If you can't tell, right? Like I like food.
Me too.
It's just the way it is. And potatoes are one of my absolute kryptonites.
Oh,
so every time they have something,
how about a good shepherd's pie?
Oh, I love a shepherd's pie.
Me too.
I love a good shepherd's pie.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anytime you can get something with potato, man, I'm all there.
Yeah.
Will G, I absolutely got the game on the TV. You already know. Game's on the TV.
Well, apparently nothing too bad has happened because I haven't
we're down by one.
What's that?
We're down by one.
Oh, one's nothing.
I mean, we're live, so I can't throw anything.
That's that's a one swing from Kyle Schwarber, and it's a tie game. So Lewis says, I sometimes wonder if the people that design these cruise ships have ever cruised before. Who puts a salad bar on the Serenity deck that is always windy? And you know what? That's a good point. It is windy up there almost all the time.
And you know what the crazy thing is like not a lot of people know that's there.
Yeah, it is.
It's not promoted well. It's not promoted well. It's not seen. If you Google like eateries, it's one of those locations that are hard to find.
Yeah.
Unless you know about it. But I like the idea they're doing there. Me personally, I would probably do like fresh fruit and smoothies. I think that would be better than a salad bar. I mean, I'm not 300 plus pounds from eating salad, but I do like fresh fruit, you know?
Yeah. No, that's a good point. That Loft 19, somebody invited me to go up there on that cruise. And then they also did this in the Havana area when we were on the Horizon, but they'd bring around fruit cups and oftentimes they were semi-frozen. So it'd be like a icy cold frozen fruit type of deal. And it seemed to be pretty much that same way on Loft 19 as well. So yeah, they do it, but just not, where you're suggesting.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, Cruise Life TV. Thank you for that. And thank you for noticing. Cruise Life TV says, looks like Zoe wants a treat. My God, my arm. I wish you all could see the scratches on it right now. So let me write Cruise Life TV down here. And Rick was 54 through 58. So Cruise Life TV, you are 59 through 68, and she keeps scratching me. High five.
Let's go.
Something good happened.
Our game, baby. Let's go.
There you go. Who hit it? Was it a home run?
Bohm.
What's that?
Alec Bohm, solo home run.
Oh, okay. The third baseman, right?
Listen, you're gonna have to. It's one of those days, right? Like it's.
Oh yeah, I can't blame you.
My dad comes in with his phone on, and then his phone rings, and I'm like, "Yo, I'm live." And now he's like, "Oh, you're live, but you're screaming." Yeah, they all know that they're on here. I'm a Phillies fan; like they can see me here. Man.
Hey, yeah, I respect the fact that you still came on. I would have been like, yeah, I mean, it's the game 7. So.
No, I mean, I'm not going to do that. Last week was tough for some reason. I got done a little late, and I made it home still in enough time to get on. But StreamYard had issues to where you couldn't switch cameras or microphones, so it wouldn't let me go in and select like, hey, I'm my external mic or my phone. And they actually sent me an email saying like, hey, we noticed you were part of the group that couldn't switch.
Oh yeah, I got that email too. Yeah,
and I'm like, well, that's weird. At least they know like there was a mess up. So,
and I for all of you that have been steady watchers, and thank you for that. And Lito Tito, what is going on? I did get a Wi-Fi extender, and it seems like I haven't gotten that little thing that shows me my bars aren't all the way full on the screen today. So I hope I haven't frozen, but I felt really bad because I watched the replay of segments of the last couple weeks where you all had saying I was freezing and stuff like that, and that was bad. So I apologize for that. Hopefully we've fixed the problem, and you won't.
Is your router close to where you go live?
It's not. It's not. But I got a Wi-Fi extender, and that seems to be, like I said, I haven't gotten that little bar, like you get on your phone. It was showing up on the StreamYard thing.
So what I do is I go live from my Mac, but the Wi-Fi extender, I hated it. So I just bought a 50-foot Ethernet cable.
Okay.
And then I just plug it into an adapter and plug that adapter into my Mac.
Well, I was thinking about actually bringing the modem into my office here. Right. I have it by the main, we stream the TV, like the cable television, all that other stuff. So I figured it'd be better being closer to the TV, but obviously when I'm doing the lives, it needs to be good reception. So far the extender, is working. So we'll go with that. But okay. So we talked about street eats a little bit and our love of French fries and potatoes, and I'm fully on board with the Nauti Cruiser on that one. So let's talk about something that I think Carnival does very well across their fleet, and they do a really good job of it on the XL class as well, in my opinion. Get your opinion on this. But how about live music?
Awesome.
What are your thoughts on the live music?
Carnival has one of the best operations when it comes to the live entertainment, right? So you're talking piano bar, you're talking especially on the Celebration is one of the great ones. So like through the gateway, they always have like DJ Q posted up there or a guitar player posted there. That's awesome. In the old school style atriums, you always have, whether it's a violinist or a guitar player or a singer, you always have somewhere you can get live music from. And I'm a big fan of the piano bar. So I love going to the piano bar every night, closing it down at the piano bar. The live music on Carnival itself is one of the best I've had. And we're talking over 40 cruises, right? So we're Princess, Norwegian, Carnival's hands down got the music there.
Right. And one of the things that I like that I don't do at home, I don't listen to on the radio, but I really enjoy the violin trio when I'm on a cruise. I really do. And that's not something I listen to. And I know they're playing a lot of cover songs just with violins and things like that, but I enjoy watching them play. I enjoy how much talent they have while they're doing it. And it's just, it's I don't know. I can't really put a finger on why I like it so much. And it's not like I watch them every night or something, but I definitely 2 or 3 times a cruise will walk by and see that they're playing. And I'm like, okay, I need to grab a drink and sit down here for 10 or 15 minutes.
Right. And just enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and the band, on the Celebration, the Mardi Gras usually plays at Guy's Smokehouse, Brew House, the back of the ship. But yeah, that's a good thing too. And so the live music, I think people will be happy with on the XL class. I mean, just a Carnival in general. Seg agrees with that sentiment. I don't know if a violin trio or just the music in general. Cruise Life TV says, question, have you experienced Evolution only on this? Oh yeah. Is Evolution the TV show or the little movie, the little 8-minute movie or whatever? If that's what you're talking about, Cruise Life TV, I have seen that. As a matter of fact, I did a little video on it, if that's the thing that you're talking about.
Evolution is one of their stage productions, and it wasn't ready when I was on the Transatlantic.
Okay.
It was one that was still being worked on. Now, the show you're talking about is like through the gangway.
Yeah, by latitudes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I got to experience that.
Yeah. So Evolution is supposed to be
it's a stage production show.
Okay.
I'm 99.9% sure it's a stage production show, because when we were coming over on the Transatlantic, I remember Lee saying like, oh, we have another few stage production shows. Like We Are One wasn't ready at the time yet either. They were all still working on those for when they did the naming ceremony in Miami, and that initial inaugural sailing out of Miami was getting those shows. But we did get Under the Big Top and all that. So it's yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
see, Michelle says it's
Michelle,
a awesome stage production dance party.
a dance party. Okay. You know what, Michelle, I got to make a point to do that because I totally missed it. I was on 2 cruises in June and Cruise Life TV. And thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Somebody
But yeah,
needs to put Z in timeout.
what's oh okay, I see. Z is saying the Rangers are going to win the World Series. Well, yeah, let's get the Phillies there first before before you get too upset. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely check that out. So Cruise Life TV and Michelle, thank you for bringing that to my attention. And Lido Tito, really wish I could have made it that. Oh, okay. You guys are just talking about being down in Galveston. Yeah, so Lido Tito, I think Z Show. I don't know if Rick, a couple other people, but they're going to be on the week before you, Mike. Mike's going on the Jubilee New Year's Eve, and I know Z is the inaugural cruise. Lido Tito's the inaugural cruise. A bunch of Islanders, Derek and Island Time with Amanda and Usnavi and all them are doing.
Yeah, I was set to be on the transatlantic, and then that got canceled. And then when they announced the inaugural, it was like the week of Christmas. I was like, well, that's not going to happen. I got 3 kids, man. I'm not, getting away New Year's is going to be a little tough as it is because they're going to be off for a little bit. But Christmas is definitely a no-go.
Right. I'm just wondering, like, I'm a little bothered by the fact that I didn't know about this evolution. Like, I mean, I don't know where my head was, what I was thinking. Maybe I thought it was a different kind of show or whatever, but I'm glad you all pointed this out to me. So I will definitely.
Yeah, definitely check it out, man.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be one of the best shows they got.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the times that I've noticed when I've been there, I've seen, celestial strings they have on a day, and it seems like they're showing the most magnificent circus like all the time. And
Yeah,
actually,
when that show came out, the first time they did that, you could not find a single seat anywhere. And we're talking all levels, right? Like I had to watch it for like 3 nights, just 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here, just to be able to get a whole show in. And it was jam packed. And we're talking a transatlantic. So we didn't sell at full capacity, but that show was at max capacity.
Right. Real quick, I know I did said a $15. If I'm starting to run low on my beverage here, I will take 2 $5. One $10. We'll lower that to get this in my cup here. If we can get there, and we're only 32 away from giving the t-shirt away today. I would like to give a t-shirt away today, so we're only 32 away from that. So but yeah, I'm definitely going to check out Evolution. So thank you everybody for chiming in on that. So let's move on, and we've been talking about this a little bit, but bars. All right, we were talking about latitudes and that the video montage that is up around latitudes or whatever. And since we're talking in the latitudes area there, one thing I really like about Latitudes is, for those of you that haven't been on the celebration, is it's themed drinks from around the world. That's why they have all the names of the different cities and different countries and things like that, is because if you open up the menu and you read the description of the drinks, it'll say, well, this drink is famous in Brazil. This drink is famous in Sweden. This drink is famous in England, whatever these different destinations are. They have all these different destination drinks. There we go. Look at that. We got Tim G and yes, and North Shore Travelers working together here. We're going to make this happen. So thank you both. Here is the double. And I have the Coke, and we are up to 78 now. So we are only 22 away. And look at that, Frankie Floyd jumping in. So we got all 3. So we're going to get Zoe a treat here too. Her ears just perked up. She's laying on the floor right now. As soon as she heard that word treat. Mix this up a little bit here. Let's get your numbers away. We got Frankie Floyd was the last one. So Tim G, you are 69 through 73. North Shore Travelers, you are 74 through 78. And Frankie Floyd, you are 79 through 83. Yep. Right. I get that right? Yeah. Okay. Sweet. So we're only 17 away. We are only, oh, look at that. Michelle jumped in there too. Thank you for that. And we got Lido Tito too. Oh, we're going to get this. I wasn't sure we were going to get it. We're going to get it. Let's see. 84. Michelle, you are Michelle WPB. I just want to make sure I write your initials there. 84 through 88. Lido Tito, 89 through 93. 89 through 93. So yeah, we're only 7 away. We are only 7 away. Yolanda Jackson wants to say good evening. So let me put everybody's super chat up here. We started with Tim. Then we went to North Shore Travelers and Eric, Frankie Floyd, Michelle, and then Lido Tito was the most recent one. Thank you all, and cheers to all of you. That hit the spot. And like I said, we are only 7 away from giving away the shirt. Okay. So talking about bars, and we were talking about Latitudes. So what do you think, Mike? What did you think about Latitudes?
Latitudes is a great bar. I'm a big amusement park guy when it comes to like Disney, right? And so Disney at Epcot have like drinks around the world. So you can literally go to Latitude and do like a drinks around the world at Latitude's bar. You don't have to get up from the bar stool. Now, I highly suggest you don't do it sitting down because when you do go to get up, you're going to stumble around. But it's great to have like Latitudes. The Golden Jubilee is another little bar. And they're nice venues. So like I like Latitudes because they always change the destinations on the board. The board always changes. They always put something cool up on the board. And I love that little seating area right there between Latitudes, the Gateway, and it takes you over to the Golden Jubilee. So there's a great like booth style seating there for you to hang out with some friends, family, play some games and stuff. But my favorite bar has to be Alchemy Bar. Alchemy Bar is the top. And I like how the celebration they did with certain bars, they brought in like old artwork from other ships. So that's another big thing I like. Seeing the repurpose of other ships was cool.
No, that's a great point. The celebration did really well, and Mardi Gras didn't incorporate as much of that, but Celebration seemed to tie the past in really, really well on their ship. Now, one point that Funnelheads, Andrew from Funnelheads, and I were talking about, and this part is true. With the bigger ship comes obviously more people, and Alchemy, as you pointed out, that's your favorite bar. It's my favorite bar. But here's the thing, and I want to get your thought on this. It's so crowded at Alchemy sometimes that one of the things I love the most about Alchemy is that personal connection that you form with your bartenders over the course of the cruise. Now, it's no fault of the bartenders, whatsoever. They're working their tails off back there. And it is a larger bar, and they have an extra bartender, sometimes 2. Sometimes there's 4, 5 people working back there trying to serve. But they just don't have the time to have that
one-on-one connection.
Exactly, that you get on some of the smaller ships. Now, that's why I found myself at Latitude sometimes.
Because there was less people there. So you got that more
there was less people at Latitudes. I could still get some good drinks there. And even though Alchemy is my favorite bar, I was going down to a Jubilee. I was going down to a Latitudes because I got more of that connection that I like to get with the bartender. Right. So what are your thoughts on that?
So my main bar that I went to on the celebration was the Jubilee, because you can sit at the Jubilee and have that one-on-one interaction with the bartender for an hour straight and it not stop. So the thing with Alchemy, I believe, is there's not as many Alchemy bar fans, like true Alchemy bar fans. There's just people that want to get a drink. And they tend to crowd around Alchemy and chit-chat and talk and gossip and take up that time and space for those people that want to actually have that interaction. Like my favorite drink at Alchemy is a sidecar. right? So they do a phenomenal sidecar. And every bartender seems to make it a little different every time. But it's nice to sit there and have that conversation. On the XL class ships, that's, again, it's non-existent. But I mean, you know, like look at the Mardi Gras, right? Bar de la Rose. You can go sit out Bar de la Rose and have a conversation all day long because it's not a poppin' busy bar. Right. You just got to find that spot. If that's what you're looking for, you just got to find it on the ship and where it works for you.
Absolutely. Well, hey, we hit it. Everybody, way to finish it off here to make it to 100. And Lito Tito, he knew what it had to be to get to 100. I was 2 away. So let me go through the numbers for everybody real quick, and we'll do the shirt drawing. And again, great teamwork here. You know, so we'll start all the way at the beginning just so everybody knows the numbers that you're looking for to win the shirt here. North Shore Travelers is numbers 1 through 8. Rick Wade, 9 through 18. Trisha, 19 through 28. Ben, 29 through 38. Frankie Floyd, 39 through 43. Tim G, 44 through 53. Rick Wade, again, 54 through 58. Cruise Life TV, 59 through 68. Tim G, 69 through 73. North Shore Travelers, 74 through 78. Frankie Floyd, 79 through 83. Michelle, 84 through 88. Lito Tito, 89 through 93. Rick, again, 94 through 98. And Lito Tito, 99 through 100. Oh, we just lost Mike. Real quick, and I'm not going to run off from you. Before we do this drawing, I have new merch, and I forgot to – I'm going to grab one right now. It's just 5 feet away from me. So I am right here. I will be back in the picture momentarily. Let me just make sure that – okay, here we go. Zoe's just in my way, of course. All right. So, new merch. First time I was like, you know what? There's so many of you that have been so awesome and buying shirts and everything. So I got some drink, insulated cooler here. This one has a screw off top. And you see it's got the Coach Cruise logo there. And there's one on the other side. Now this is and it's got a little straw there, and you can flip this up. So if you win and you decide you would like this instead of a shirt, this is a 30-ounce insulated drink thing here. So the shirts are pretty much all I got up until now. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to experiment with this. And this is a waterproof, not waterproof. Nothing's truly waterproof, right? But pretty much a waterproof sticker. I mean, it's going to hold up. I don't know if you can machine wash it, but I've got some on Yeti cups, and they've lasted a long time and still look pretty new. So whoever wins today, if you choose to get this insulated 30-ounce drink thing instead of the shirt, you can do that as well. So that is your choice. All right. So for those that don't know, I ask for a random number from Siri, 1 through 100. And then she screams out the number here. So let's see who that winner is going to be. Siri, give me a random number 1 through 100. 74. 74. And Yoli, we will take care of that, especially after last week. You got it. So 74. Let's see who 74 is. It is North Shore Travelers, Eric. And they're down about ready to enjoy a cruise. So it might be a week or so before he wants me to send a shirt or one of these tumblers. And I have about 10 of these, 10 or 12 of these right now. And I can order more for the future too. So, so if anybody wants one, I got to figure out what the shipping is on this, but it doesn't matter. So Yoli, we'll take care of you. And then North Shore Travelers, congratulations on that. And thank you everybody that did a super chat. So Mike, we're starting to run out of time here. The last 3 that we didn't discuss. So I'm going to let you pick one of these that you want to talk about quickly. But the cruise director, Lee Mason, 2-time cruise director of the year. He's one of the things I put down that people love about the Carnival celebration. You had mentioned him earlier, not knowing the topic yet. The entertainment we've talked about off and on. Anyway, we talked about the evolution, most magnificent. So we kind of already talked about that. And then just the food in general, all around the ship, all the different locations. So any one of those last three you want to end with?
So Lee's great. Lee's awesome, hands down. One of the best guys, one of the best cruise directors you can ever sail with. But let's touch base on food, right? So that's a big thing that people want to talk about or try when they're on the ship. Let me just help you out. Pick an anchor, skip it. Don't even waste your time.
Great.
MDR, if you're a solo cruiser or if you're with your significant other and you want to waste 45 minutes, that's your call. Me personally, I'm not wasting my time with the MDR as a solo cruiser, or even when I go at groups, we try to do a little bit more than just the MDR. The food's good, but sometimes the service is very, very slow in the MDR. Other than that, Rudy's was great. The steakhouse is phenomenal. Carnival always does an amazing steak. And my favorite place on the XL class ships is Shaq's Big Chicken. So you got to go get some Shaq's. That's my absolute favorite. But the one thing I agree with Carnival doing, and I'm probably going to get a lot of heat for this because a lot of people are like, oh, they shouldn't charge. But that $5 charge in the MDR for more than 2 entrees, I am 100% on board with Carnival. It's going to help cut down the waste of food, and that will ultimately cut down the cost of cruising. So one in one hand, one in the other, right? I'm all for that. But definitely check it out. It's still free for Cochina, Chebang. That's still free right now, only for the inaugural season. And then after you go once, it's $8 anytime after that. But I still think it's a good deal. They got some great food in Cochina. They got some great food at Chebang. So definitely check those places out. And Street Eats, man, definitely hit up Street Eats. If you want some snacky snacks, Street Eats is the place to go. And of course, don't forget about Pizzeria Del Capitone and the Carnival Deli. Like, you got to get the Carnival Deli.
Yeah, I agree on the Carnival Deli just because, Chicago is such a pizza hub. I'm not as big a fan of the pizza as you are. I mean, I don't dislike it. I'm not.
It's tough, man. Like I said earlier, I'm from up north, right? So living here in Florida, pizza is not the same as it is up north. So when I get on the ship and I can get that thin crust pizza cooked how I want it, it's the closest thing I'm going to get to back home. So it's worth it to me. But I tell you what, I wouldn't be opposed to them putting a Portatello's on a cruise ship. Like I'm all game for a Portatello's. Like, put them on a cruise ship. That'll be the only place I eat at for the whole 7 days.
Yeah, and Cruise Life TV just made a good point. And I pointed this out a couple videos ago. I did, I went through every place that you could eat on the whole ship. And that was a longer video than I wanted just because there were so many places and I was just hitting on them very quick. And it still ended up being like a 20+ minute video. But they said, don't forget about the food you can get at Java Blue. And that's one of the coolest things about the XL class. They expanded the Java Blue Cafe. And you can get breakfast sandwiches, you can get like lunch type sandwiches, or even, like an early dinner type sandwich, if you want to call it that, at Java Blue. And they'll heat it up, they'll toast it, just like if you would go to, a sub place or something and ask them to toast your sandwich, you can get your sandwich toasted there too with some melted cheese or whatever. And that's free. And I don't think everybody realizes that those sandwiches are free. Now the cupcakes and the cookies and all that other stuff that they have there, that's still a charge.
So that's a big thing that Carnival did with the XL class ships from their sister line. So Princess has what's called the International Cafe. So all the sandwiches and things like that are included in your cruise fare. So they brought that over from the Princess line, which I think is phenomenal. It's one of those quick grab and go things, right? Like if you're on a rush and you want to just quickly grab something and go, it's perfect. But if you got 45 minutes to kill, man, going over to my channel, I got a video. It's called Everything I Ate on the Carnival Celebration. And it's literally 45 minutes long of me just stuffing my face and giving you my honest opinion about everything I ate, from Guy's Burgers to the horrible Mississippi mud pie at Pig and Anchor. It's everything you could possibly think of. So, and it's got included in upcharge restaurants in there. So if you got time, check it out. And that'll give you a little idea of some of the food to experience on the celebration.
Absolutely. All right. Well, everybody that, stayed on and joined us. And, especially if you don't have any plans to go on the celebration, especially thank you for that. But for those of you that have been or think about going on the celebration, big shout out. And again, all the super chats, everybody, thank you for that. And go check out Mike and also Josh on the Peer-to-Peer podcast. They're on Spotify. They're on most of those streaming networks. And then Mike by himself is the Nauti Cruiser on YouTube. And I think that pretty much covers everything. And, thanks again, everybody. And we will see you all back here Tuesday next week. All right, Mike, thanks once again.
Not a problem, man. Y'all have a great night.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.